Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to JT Ani 31's Revived Supercross. This is a Monster Energy Supercross track that is on the official online track library. I don't know what you want to call it, but you guys can download this track if you are playing on Xbox. And it is a pretty fun track. So today we're gonna hop in. We're gonna be doing a time trial on this track, and I thought I would spice it up a little bit just by showing you guys my setups. So I'm gonna try out different setups here on this track, show you guys the setup that I normally ride with on pretty much every bike within the bike setup menu, and I'll show you guys all of my bike settings. So that should be pretty fun. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button for me. Leave any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns down in the comments section below. Click that subscribe button, become a member of the Goon Squad if you're new around here, guys, and let's get into tossing some whips. So this part of the video is for the people that want to see the bike setup. Now, this is kind of the setup that I run in most of my videos. This is the setup I use pretty much all the time, and it doesn't really change. I usually just run it because I find it gives you a good preload. It lets you turn the corners pretty good. It helps you with your cornering, actually, in my opinion. I also want to try out another setup that I have in my mind. It's just taking everything and moving it the other way on the adjusters there. So for the preload, we go 2 clicks to the right from default for the front and the rear, and then for everything else it's just 1 click to the right, including, you know, spring stiffness, compression damping, rebound damping, and then gears down at the bottom. Our gear ratio, we actually run medium. Now there are some tracks run better with short and some tracks run better with long, so that changes from track to track, and I think this track is good on medium. There are spots where you need the speed to actually be able to make the jumps and everything, and then tight sections where you don't need the speed, so that's why medium is like a good balance. Short I don't think would be the best one for this track, and then long at the same time, it wouldn't work out. You kind of need a good balance on this track. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna try out this setup and see what happens. So here's the deal, guys. I've already done like 5 laps on the track. The track is really easy to get the hang of, and it has a really fun flow. I think the flow of the track is unique. I think there's one line that I haven't hit yet that is possible right there on screen right now. I think you're probably able to jump like a huge quad, and right now I'm just like downsiding the tabletop, and I think you can go 1 jump further. So we're gonna have to try and get that one done. As of right now, after the 5 laps that I have done, my fastest lap is a 51.531. That was using this exact setup. So this setup that I'm riding with right now, I haven't changed it at all, and my controls are broken. So we're back. I can actually control the bike now, and let's see what we can do. This is the section that I think we can go 1 more. I think we can jump 1 jump further into that section. So right now, I guess we're technically hitting a quad, but I would consider it almost like a triple. We're downsiding a tabletop, so I don't know what you would consider that. I think we can go 1 jump further in that section, and we're gonna try and get it here in this video. Now the lap time that we have already is with this setup that I'm riding with, so I don't know if I'll actually be able to beat it. Like, I was shredding earlier, so the couple laps that I did, you know, I got the hang of the track, and the track is fun. It's different, and it has a fun flow to it. So if you guys want to check it out, it is Revived SX, and honestly, like, it is fun. It's got big jumps, a couple like technical rhythm sections for you techie dudes, and I don't know, it's just a fast-paced track. A fast-paced track with a fun layout. Like, it's a fun layout. So we'll see if we can hit some decent lap times. Like I said, that 51, I don't know, it might stick the whole episode, but we'll have to see. I am interested to try out a different bike setup, that's for sure, because I've ridden this setup for, God, I can't even remember how long. Like, it has been a long time. So we will see what happens. Alright, so here we go. The finish line is a double, and then you hook this awesome, like, this sweeper, this left-hand sweeper is a ton of fun. Then you're gonna jump into this section and see, I think we can go 1 further. You either have to time it perfectly or go 1 further. Because right there, like you guys saw, we absolutely lost all of our speed. This section's fun. If you hit it right, you can get a nasty flow through there and then hit tough blocks just like that and ruin your whole line. Finish line to this big old sweeper, to this rhythm section that you have to time it perfectly. You have to almost time this section perfectly in order to make it through the whole thing clean. But then you're going to come through here, hit this little like whoop section that you can just quad through. And then sweep through that corner. Like I said, if you can actually hit that corner right, you can get a gnarly flow through there. Supercross triple into a dragon's back that I normally skip right over into this wonky old section. This section has a pretty steep double. That double right there, it is poppy. It's got some pop to it. And it's fun. It's a fun section through there. Tight and technical, yet fast and flowy. And I don't know if you guys noticed, like we're kind of drifting the corners, and okay. I love when the game resets me for like almost no reason. Like I guess we were going a little far to the left there, but come on. I was trying to hook a nasty line onto that start straight, ruining this section. Okay, I totally forget what we were talking about. You know, sometimes that just happens, and that's okay. This bike setup allows you to kind of drift corners and ride a looser riding style. If you guys like to use the back tire to kind of steer the bike, then this is kind of the setup for you. Like you kind of have to ride that way when you're using this setup, and it works. It definitely works. So give it a go if you haven't, and let me know down in the comments what setups do you guys use, because I'm interested to try out some of your guys' setups, and I think it would definitely be interesting for a video. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm actually gonna change the setup. I don't think I'm gonna beat this lap time. I'm riding like a total goon right now. I can't even stay on the track, and we'll have to see if we can beat it using a different setup. Maybe I'll do like 1 or 2 more laps with this one, see if we can actually get a clean lap in, hitting like all the fast lines, and then we'll go from there. But that 51.531, man, I wish I had it on recording, because I wasn't recording when it happened. Speak of the devil, we beat the lap time right there. 50. Oh, and we're down. I think that's where we're gonna call it. We're gonna go ahead, return to the pit. We need to, you know, take a chill pill. We're gonna drink some water, and we're gonna change our bike setup. All right, so we're gonna come in here, and I'm just gonna go the other way. So I'm gonna reset everything to default, and I'm just gonna go back this way. All right, so we'll go 2 to the left for preload. We will go 1 to the left for everything else. Just to try like a totally different setup, we will leave the gear ratio at medium, and we'll give it a go. I don't know why, man, every time I try to, you know, start this race up, we can't control our bike and we're just stuck. I found if you find a way to respawn yourself, either return to the pit and just restart, that usually works, or if you can go off track, usually you'll gain your steering again. So we'll try this setup out and see how it goes. I think it kind of just goes like the opposite way. This setup's more like more soft, more mellow. You can't turn as sharp. Honestly, I might like this better. We'll have to give it a couple laps, but I don't know, something feels wonky about it. Something feels like jerky. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what's going on. Maybe it's just me, just by looking at the back end of the bike. Oh yeah, even just by hitting that double. The other setup I was running definitely gave you more pop. It gave you more preload. This is a more mellow setup. The corners, you have to take them a little wider, a little more on the wider side, and that's definitely not a bad thing. There's always the tracks that call for that. Yeah, I can feel sometimes where the other setup was almost turning too much. This one isn't turning enough, so maybe just default settings is the way to go. It might be. I think it's all personal preference too, and I think at the same time, the more you play with a certain setup, you're gonna get used to it. Honestly, I don't really notice a difference between the two. This one definitely has something about it that's more mellow, but in the long run, if you let me play on this setup for an hour, and then let me have an hour break, and then let me play on the other setup for an hour, I don't know if I would notice a difference. I honestly don't really know. And the true test to see is if I can at least compete with that lap time. the 50-second lap time that we hit. Yeah, see, like right there, that section, I'm struggling to get that line. That might be one thing. I'm losing traction in certain areas, which I thought this one actually, oh, whoa. I thought this bike didn't jump around as much, which it doesn't. I just think the preload of the other bike helped out a ton. The harder suspension actually helped for Supercross. I'm not sure though. It might just be my riding style. Let me know in the comments below, guys. What riding style are you? Do you guys like having a bike that is poppy and a bike where, you know, you hit those 4 whoops that he has on this track and you go flying into the air and jump up, like right over them? Or do you like a setup like this where it's more mellow and a softer riding style? Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the 4 whoops, I'll show you when we get to it in this lap. But the 4 whoops that he has, like right here and after the one rhythm section, I guess there we just jumped right over it. But on the other setup, we were jumping like to the moon when we were hitting those, like to the moon. So I don't know, man. It is tough to say if the setup really makes a huge difference or not. It is really tough to say. I think maybe if you go from like one extreme to the next, like all the way to the left, everything all the way to the left, to everything all the way to the right, that might make a huge difference. But I think if you stay relatively neutral, it'll probably be the best. I think, like, honestly, the default settings seem to be pretty good. When the game first came out, default settings was like all I played on. I didn't even bother changing my setup, so it wasn't for like, you know, months into the game where I was actually like, yo, maybe a new setup might be good. But I think the setup that I tried first is honestly better. Maybe just because I'm used to it and it kind of suits the way I like playing the game, but I find this suspension, it's not giving me enough pop. I'm crashing in the corners like that, and I think the other bike setup was just a little bit better in certain areas. Maybe I should switch back and see if I'm just being biased or not. But you guys can see, like, I'm struggling to get around the track, where the other setup, like, we were overshooting this jump, you know? It's little things like that that make a big difference in lap times. Like, if we're struggling to make it through these sections on this bike, we're just wasting time. Oh, that was my bad. I didn't brake. Big old whip there, so we can still whip. The bike can still toss it. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, let's focus. You know what? I'm determined to hit a fast lap with this bike. I am determined to prove to you guys that setups do not matter. The setups do not matter when you're staying relatively neutral. Like I said, if you go from one extreme to the other, if you go from like all the way to the left to all the way to the right, I think you're gonna notice a huge difference. But if you're just staying like relatively in the middle, I think if you're staying relatively in the middle, you're not gonna notice a huge difference. But the more I'm riding with this setup, like, the more I'm noticing, like, I'm crashing a lot. I'm crashing like everywhere. So I don't know. I think the other setup kind of suited my riding style, but it might just be all mindset too. Alright, here we go. Lap 18 on the track. Like lap 8 with the new setup. Oh, no way I'm gonna case. Oh, no way. Case, and case. At least we didn't crash. Lap number 19. Here we go. I'm gonna try and keep it on 2 wheels. Try and actually maybe salvage a rhythm through this section. Okay, nope, we ruined it. The fact that I keep crashing, it could just be me like riding like a goon now. But at the same time, I think the other setup supported my like aggressive riding style a little bit better. Like, sometimes I like landing sideways if I'm jumping into a corner. I like to be able to just turn and get on the gas and be turned. Oh my god, I blew this lap too. Here we go. Lap 22. There we go. Hit this clean. Get to here. There we go. Into the corner. There we go. Land. Get on the gas. Alright, so far so good. As long as we can make this triple jump. Throw a nice old scrub. Land. Get on the gas. So far so good. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up like we have so many times already. So many times. Throw another whip. Land, get on the gas, shift down. Oh man, see, that's a struggle. That jump was so easy with the other setup. Like super easy with the other setup. Land, get on the brakes. 51, okay, 51. Can we hit back-to-back laps that are fast? That is my question. Nope, we ruined it. Okay guys, so I think at this point we can conclude a couple of things. Number one, I am a total goon. Number two, I seem to ride better on a setup that is geared more towards the right side of all of the adjusters in the bike setup menu. I don't know if it's just me personally or not, but let me know what you guys like to ride, what setups you guys like to ride down in the comments below. I honestly think the fact that I rode worse on the second setup that was actually geared towards like the left side of the adjusters, I think I rode worse on that setup just because of my mindset going into it. I don't know if that's weird or not. I was expecting the bike to like ride different, so I think I just rode like a total goon. I'm not sure, I don't know, maybe I just, you know, actually do prefer a bike that is geared towards the right side of those adjusters. So, I don't know, let me know your thoughts on the video down below in the comments, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the thumbs up, and other than that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.